close-up look at all your Concho Valley High School football. This is Inside the Game. Sponsored by Mitchell Automotive Group.
Back to Inside the Game right here on KSAN. I'm your host, Keon Russell, and it is now the area round in our final week doing this season for this show. We have 5 remaining teams looking to punch their ticket to the regional round. We start with the Wall Hawks. The Wall Hawks wasted no time putting away Tornillo last Friday night on their home turf, defeating the Coyotes 66-0 with a running clock. In a game that had much confusion before the start, whether the Coyotes were going to forfeit or not, the game was back on 2 days prior to kickoff. The Wall Hawks are in familiar territory with the way this postseason has started so far, defeating Tornillo just as they did last season with the forfeit win, and now they'll be going up against Childress, another team they defeated in 2022 on their way to the quarterfinals round of the playoffs. Wall has now won 6 straight games on the year and have hit their stride at the most important time of the season. It's win or go home now for the Hawks, and we caught up with the team before their game to talk about their season success and the mindset coming into this game. Let's take a look.
For these guys, they were in this situation last year. They played the same team in the area around last year as well, so they're very familiar with what they do and what they're going to bring to the table. They're a very physical football team. They're very good up front. Their offensive and defensive line have matured from last year. They're a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical, so we've got to contend with that. So it's one of those things where it's going to be a very good game come Friday night. As you get deeper into the playoffs, you got to be more and more focused. And so our kids realize that. They've made these deep playoff runs before. And so for them to come out here, they've been locked in since, Saturday when we started posting film and posting notes. You could tell they were locked in. And then Monday morning when they show up for early morning weights, and you could tell that they're just dialed in a little bit differently than they were last week. And so rightfully so. And I think it's a bigger game, and they understand that too.
We also have to know we have to stay in check. It's a completely new year. Anything can happen. New game. It's football. We know anything can happen. We know that they could come out firing, and we never even expected it. So we try to stay on this year and stay on top of what they've done this year.
Over to tonight's matchup down at Redmond Memorial Stadium, the Hawks looking to do damage and continue their dominance they've created over the years. They would get the win tonight in a close one, 21-14. The Hawks got things going on the ground with their run game, and just as they've done all season, defensively, forcing the Bobcats in some tough positions. The Miles Bulldogs came out and accomplished something they have not done in the last 9 seasons last week. This week, they have a chance to continue rewriting the history books. The Miles Bulldogs got their first playoff win in 9 long years after Friday's shutout victory over Sterling City. The Bulldogs had a chip on their shoulder after losing to Sterling City the past 2 contests, once in the postseason last year and in the regular season this year. It was a statement win as they defeated the Eagles 48-0, but they quickly flipped the page to Friday night. Miles faced Collinsville in the area round down at Buckaroo Stadium. After the confidence-boosting win versus Sterling City and their first playoff win in almost 10 years, the Bulldogs are embracing the underdog mentality and excited to go up against Collinsville Friday night. Let's hear from the team before tonight's matchup.
It's a good feeling just to be playing well this time of the season. You want to be peaking come playoff time, and we've shown that we can play well in spurts. We can play really good in spurts, and it just happened to be that we put all of it together last Thursday, and defense really stepped up and played extremely well for us. So we're just hoping that continues. But I think it was just one of those deals, just timing, and things coming together for us.
We're really focused, and we know that we're good enough to win the game. I mean, everyone's doubting us and saying all this stuff, and then how they're ranked so good and how good they look and stuff. But we know what we can do and we know what we're capable of, and we're a really good team, and we practice and we're getting better and better each week.
Oh, I'm very determined. We're coming off. We're not high ranked like they are. Not even close. But I mean, we're coming. We want to make a statement. We want to win.
Over to the game. The Miles Bulldogs offense wasn't able to find their rhythm in this one as they would only put up 7 points on the board in the first half. Collinsville would go on to pull away and end the Miles Bulldogs season in this one tonight with the win 69-21. The historic 2023 campaign for the Miles Bulldogs team comes to an end at the hands of Collinsville here tonight. All right, stay with us. We'll be back with more Inside the Game right here after this break.
Start your day with a Rosa's Cafe steak, fajita, and egg breakfast taco. Quality
Quality Carpet and Tile has the best flooring and at the right prices. At Quality, we're always introducing new flooring selections. From colors, patterns, and textures, you'll always find something new. We even offer a large selection of granite countertops and wall coverings. We provide all our customers with free estimates and delivery because you and your home deserve the best. Come find out what Quality Carpet and Tile can do for your home today.
My name is Angie Lane, and I'm the Director of Hospice Services for the West Texas Rehab Center. Hospice of San Angelo started in San Angelo, and it is the only nonprofit hospice in San Angelo, Texas. I get to be a part of something so much bigger than myself. I get to come to work every day and know that we're going to give every patient that needs end-of-life care the same great care, regardless if they can pay for it or not.
Moving family and business offices locally and long distance for over 50 years, Welch Transfer and Storage is your primary local moving company. Our family of professional movers provide quality, secure packing and damage-free moving services you can afford. Whether you are needing a large warehouse space or climate-controlled storage, we have you covered. When you are planning your next move across town or the country, call Welch Transfer and Storage. We don't just move boxes, we move families.
Inside the game, the Sonora Broncos continue their winning ways in the bi-district round with the 29-27 win over Anson and extended their record to 10-1 overall. The Sonora Broncos defeated the Anson Tigers in the bi-district round of the playoffs and are now 10-1 so far this 2023 season coming into this Friday night. Even with major injuries to the preseason player of the year and their quarterback Jaime Butron for majority of the season, the Broncos continue to find a way to win football games and secure yet another title in District 3 2A. Sonora took on the Farwell Steers here tonight at Tiger Stadium as they look to punch their ticket to the regional round of the playoffs. Since their arrival of the third-year head coach Blake Weston, the Broncos have made it to the area round in every one of those years. We were able to catch up with the Broncos earlier this week as they prepare for the Steers in tonight's game. Let's hear what they had to say ahead of this one.
It was huge for us because, we had to move some pieces around, had some of the injury bug, had to move some pieces, and kids played in some different spots. So it showed our fight and stuff like that in our kids. And like you said, getting the first one under your belt's huge. It was a big win for us, and going forward, it's going to be really good. They're a good football team, but we have to not turn the ball over and get takeaways. That's our big deal, and we're getting healthy at the right time. So we're getting some kids back that can take more of a load this week on the offensive defensive side, so it should be really good for us.
It was pretty hard. I mean, that wasn't the outcome we wanted, but anything you can, as long as you're surviving right now, is what we want to do. We got to go with ball, and we're looking forward to this week. It's going to take a team effort. The line, they lead the front, so we start with them and then just keep going, keep rolling.
The run game. I mean, really all they do is hand off to number 2, and we just got to stop number 2, stop the rest of their team, and we can win this ball game.
And on over to the scores from this one. The Sonora Broncos were down at Tiger Stadium, like I said, in Snyder. And the Sonora Broncos got some of their key players back who were a little banged up during that week last week, but back and healthy, ready for tonight's game. Sonora will go on to dominate this one, winning tonight 42-14 to advance to the regional quarterfinals round. The Mason Punchers were our lone undefeated team here in the Concho Valley this 2023 football regular season, sitting at 11-0 and looking to make it 12 after Thursday night's performance. The Mason Punchers are coming off their first undefeated season since the 2018 year. That's also the same season the Punchers were crowned state champions for the second time in program history. So if history were to repeat itself, the Punchers could look to do something just as special as they did in the 2018 year. Mason dominated the Thrall Tigers in the bi-district matchup 28-7 in all phases of the game. The Punchers executed things to a T. They were in for a tougher test this time around in the area round as they took on Ganado at Rattler Stadium in San Marcos. Mason looking to win in advance for the chance to play at Jerry World. We caught up with the group before Thursday night's showdown on the gridiron, and here's what they had to say.
We hadn't played them since 2011, and man, what a game that was. That was my first year back in Mason, and they're a completely different ball club. They still have a lot of the same identity in their community and their culture. They're a hard-nosed football team, different style of offense per se, but their defense is attacking. They have team speed. They play hard. They're physical, and so it's going to be a great football game. We're going to have to play kind of errorless football and create turnovers and just play just really, really solid football in order to win. And, I'm excited for the challenge, and I know our kids are too, but it'll be an exciting night. It'll be a great night for football.
Their offensive line, they're pretty good, and that quarterback they have, he has a pretty strong arm, so I see them spreading the ball out a little bit on us and letting our DBs make plays on the ball, hopefully.
And as stated before, this was our long Thursday night matchup for teams here in the Concho Valley. The undefeated Punchers facing Ganado. Mason would come out swinging in the first half, but the second half, the Indians would pull away and come away with a 37-12 victory. Still an impressive season for the Punchers as they finish the year 11-1 and will be primed to be back in the same position next year with a very young group. All right, stay with us. We'll be back with more Inside the Game right here after this break.
Easy money. Hi, I'm Mike. Come to MGB for quick, easy money. It's the way Texans have cashed in on their gold, silver, and diamonds for over a decade. Come to MGB, Mike's Gold Buyers, and you'll say,
I sold gold and I like Mike.
Time for a new roof? You want a local roofer like Blake Duncan Premier Rebuilders. They take pride in providing excellent workmanship and complete customer satisfaction. Whether the job is big or small, call the roofer with a reputation for service and quality. Blake Duncan Premier Rebuilders. RM Electrical is San Angelo's premier choice for residential and commercial electrical services, big or small. For over 25 years, RM Electrical has gone above and beyond for our customers, making sure that our work exceeds their expectations. So whether you need new light fixtures, remodeling a kitchen, or building a new commercial property, you can trust RM Electrical to do the job right and treat you like family. Speaking of family, we're working on our 4th generation of electricians. RM Electrical. In the dark, we light the way.
I am a remarkable woman.
Remarkable stories from across the country.
I want to inspire women.
We recognized extraordinary efforts, celebrated incredible accomplishments.
There is one finalist from each region, and those compete for the title of Remarkable Women.
See who will take home this year's title and be honored in Hollywood.
Please go to ConchoValleyHomepage.com/remarkablewomen and nominate a tireless changemaker in your community. KSAN is proud to celebrate all the remarkable women in our lives.
Welcome back to Inside the Game right here on KSAN. The Broughton Longhorns had one of the most impressive wins of the bi-district round last week in their 36-20 victory over Rising Star. Tonight, they face the Richland Springs down in Mertzen. Shelby caught up with the team before tonight's win-or-go-home game. Let's take a look.
They believe in themselves right now. It's just amazing what they believe that they didn't believe even 4 weeks ago.
Our KSAN Game of the Week is highlighting the Broughton Longhorns as they head into their area-round matchup against Richland Springs after picking up their first 6-man playoff win in school history.
It was awesome, especially coming back and winning that game. It was awesome for not only us, but for the town, and it boosted all of our confidence, to the sky. So we're ready for anything now.
It's just been, something coming, This is our 6th year. We hadn't been fortunate enough to make the playoffs yet. We make the playoffs. It's just very important just to the morale and everything that's going on in the program.
Richland Springs, a team that is 11-0 on the season in District 16-1A, a tough matchup for this Longhorns team, but they are confident that they can go out there and hold their own while also controlling the clock offensively.
We just have to go in there and be confident and know that we can win this game and just do everything we can and leave it all on the field and don't leave with any regrets.
Well, I know on defense we probably need to guard pass a little bit better. Because we stopped Rising Star from running, right? And as far as offense goes, not much. Let's do what we do best.
They're very fast. They're a lot like us. They're not real big, but they have a ton of speed. We run more of a power-type game, and that's what we're hoping that we can do and to get away with. We're a ball control team. We try to get 4 yards in a cloud of dust and get first downs and take 4-minute drives, 4.5-minute drives to shorten the game, and that's what we're hoping we can accomplish.
The Brown Longhorns in the area round taking on Richland Springs down in Merton here tonight. Richland Springs moving down the field. Billy Perry gets the toss in the backfield, finds the hole, weaving his way in and out, and he's in for the touchdown. Coyotes strike first in this one. Brown looking to make a big play. Handoff to Spencer Smith. He breaks tackle after tackle, almost free, brought down by Hutton Rogers, moving the sticks down the field for Brown. Coyotes on the move on this next play. Kenny Triplett pitches out to Gage Burgeons, putting on the Jets. You can see his arms pumping, and he'll take it all the way to the house, extending Richland Springs' lead 14-0 over Bront. Still scoreless on this next play for the Longhorns. Jaden Galvan hands it off to Smith yet again, making it past one man, one more to beat. Coyotes' Jaden Sutherland gets a hole at the last minute. Bront falls in this one here tonight, 46-0 over Richland Springs, but still an incredible 2023 season to the Bront Longhorns. We now have our very own Shelby Rose down in Merton to give us a recap of this area round showdown between Bront and Richland Springs. Shelby, tell us more about this playoff game that we just saw.
Yeah, guys, unfortunately, not the night for this Bront football team. The Longhorns' luck has ran out this 2023 season, falling in the area round to the Richland Springs Coyotes. Bront started this one winning the coin flip, opting to receive, but after a lackluster first drive from the Longhorns, Richland Springs was able to turn around, scoring in their first possession of the game. Earlier this week, we heard from head coach Rocky Rawls that going into this one, Bront knew the Coyotes were really fast and that in order for the Longhorns to get the win, they needed to control the ball and time of possession, and they just didn't do that here tonight. Even though Bront couldn't find the end zone, senior running back Spencer Smith was not giving up in this one, picking up the most gains for the Longhorns tonight. The one time Bront probably had the best chance at scoring came from a Richland Springs fumble in the second quarter in Longhorn territory, but Bront couldn't get on top of it fast enough, letting the Coyotes recover it, ultimately leading into a touchdown drive. Richland Springs defense was absolutely suffocating tonight, with their defenders making contact with Bront as soon as that ball was snapped, making it hard for Bront to move down the field or control the time of possession in this one. Ultimately, the Bront Longhorns season comes to an end here tonight at OK Wolfenberger Field, falling 46-0 to the Richland Springs Coyotes. But saying goodnight from Erie County, I'm Shelby Rhodes, KSAN Sports. I'll go ahead and send things back to you, Keon.
This live shot is sponsored by AFCO Steel.
All right, thank you for that one, Shelby. Still a great season for those Brown Longhorns. All right, stay with us. We'll be back with more Inside the Game right here after this break.
It was more than a business, and everybody knew it.
It was a movement rooted in love for his son, and a foundation not of charity, but of chance. It was an opportunity for those who needed it most, for those in need of a hand up rather than a handout. It was a choice to see possibility in the power of hope, the power of dignity, the power of work, in the power of goodwill.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for making a difference.
Oscar Nails and Spa wants to roll out the red carpet treatment just for you. Kevin and his talented and creative staff don't just want to give you beautiful nails, they want you to have an amazing experience. Check out our huge selection of colors and the best natural products to accommodate our customers. Whether you need a pedicure, manicure, waxing, facial, or massage, relax with a glass of wine and let us treat you like a star. Oscar Nails and Spa, 5582 Sherwood Way.
Back here to Inside the Game. Before we go, let's take a look at who will be playing next week in the regional semifinals round of the playoffs. A great season for many teams here in the Concho Valley, and with the win, the Wall Hawks have now punched themselves a ticket to the regional round. This is the second consecutive year in which the Hawks have done so after their win over Childress at this same time of the year. They will now face the Lubbock Roosevelt Eagles next week in a tough matchup between the two. And the Sonora Broncos also will be moving on to the regional quarterfinals after their semifinals, tonight over Farwell. They will play Holly Bearcats next week in a rematch in the quarterfinals round. These two teams have been some of our best this entire season, and they will be heading into the next week looking to extend their season and get closer to a goal of a state championship title. All right, well, that's all for Inside the Game right here on KSAN. Thank you all for joining us this entire year on the updates and the scores through all your Concho Valley High School teams. You all have a great night.
Catering for Inside the Game is provided by Chick-fil-A.
Inside the Game is sponsored by Mitchell Automotive Group.